ladies and gentlemen, to the 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, as always, Brad Drake, and this is my AWA save. Folks, we are heading to Aurora, Illinois tonight for Spot Show number 7. It's the day after Thanksgiving, 1987. It's Friday of week 4, and we are rolling right along. Our venue has already been set. It is East Aurora High School, and let's go ahead and check our absent workers. Nothing should be affecting us tonight. Let's take a look at our card. Wayne Bloom is going to battle Johnny Rich in the opener. The Top Guns are going to face the Russians. Vivian St. John is going to meet Sherri Martel for the World Women's title. Nick Kiniski is going to battle Rip Oliver. The Texas Hangmen are going to fight Greg Gagne and Jerry Blackwell. And in our main event, Bobby Duncum will battle Sergeant Slaughter in a huge match of heavyweight sensations. Let's get to booking. Bloom versus Rich in the opener. As you know, we have, I think this is a 12-minute bout. Yes. We brought in Wayne Bloom not too long ago. He's been getting a lot of work. I like Wayne Bloom. He's a big guy with a lot of potential. Within the next year or so, his tag team partner, Mike Enos, will be making his debut. And of course, we got him battling Johnny Rich here. I like Johnny Rich. Johnny Rich is a good athlete, the cousin of Tommy Rich. He's made a decent tag team for us with Nick Kiniski. And this one is booked. We're going to leave it wide open. Let the AI decide who's going to win this one. Next, we got the Top Guns battling the Russians. They're going to go 14 minutes. And we'll set the time. We can do the rest with the computer here. There's the Top Guns. There's the Russians. Look at that. The Russians got white hot and red hot momentum, even though they lose a lot. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and auto name this one. This bout is booked. Next, we got Vivian St. John versus Sherri Martel. And I think these ladies are also going 14 here. Let me double check. Yes, they are also going 14. There is Vivian St. John. See, now this is a little bit of a problem. Vivian St. John and Vivian Vachon sound an awful lot alike, but what are you going to do? We'll overlook that for now. There's Sherri Martel plugged in. We're going to make sure we select the World Women's title. And Sherri Martel is going to get this win by cheating, of course. So there we go. Our finish is booked. The match is booked. Next, we got the partner of Johnny Rich, Nick Kiniski, and he's going to battle Rip Oliver. This one's going to go 16 minutes. And there's Nick Kiniski. He's got neutral momentum. And Rip Oliver took a lot of losses around the circuit to Jerry Lawler. And he's got hot momentum. Go figure, right? So let's go ahead and leave this one wide open. This should be a decent match. And the semi-main here, going 18, we got the Texas Hangmen versus Gagne and Blackwell. And I think you already know who's going to win this one. For those of you that may be new to the channel, and you may not understand what we're doing here, so let me take a few minutes and explain to you exactly what's taking place here. We are running the American Wrestling Association in 1987. For those of you that are a lot younger, you probably don't understand that wrestling back in the 80s, all the way until the early 90s, maybe mid-90s, was a touring product. Television was strictly used as a promotion to get people to buy a ticket to a live show. That's why you had squash matches on television. So your companies used this formula, and then they would have a certain tour schedule where they would be in certain towns every week or certain towns every month, and they would call it the loop. Now, on top of having a tour schedule, and before I go any further, let me show you. Some of you may be brand new to this channel. Here is our touring schedule. If you see this, we have 12 towns listed, okay? So right now we have a loop with 12 towns. For example, on tomorrow's show, we're going to be in Chicago. Last night's show was in Milwaukee. Now, normally we would run Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We happened to run in Milwaukee with our normal tour schedule on Thursday strictly because it was Thanksgiving. So instead of doing another tour schedule, what we did tonight is we ran what's called a spot show. So these touring companies would run spot shows. And what spot shows were is they were sporadic shows that would come up on occasion. Sometimes they would come up once a week, once a month, sometimes 5 times a month, and they were mostly fundraisers. So a high school would bring in, for example, the AWA. Perfect example here is we're doing a spot show for East Aurora High School. This is totally legit. This is what the AWA actually did with East Aurora High School. So the athletic program for East Aurora High School would bring in the AWA to run a show, and then they would somehow split the proceeds where the high school would make money off of the show. Of course, the AWA covered its costs and made money also. The spot shows also did not have the premier talent on them, as you can tell from our card here. You got a lot of mid-carders, usually got 1 or 2 solid matches, and the rest were just filler matches because it really didn't matter. This was a fundraiser for an athletic program. It wasn't the AWA trying to sell out a 10,000 seat arena. Sometimes these spot shows would have a couple hundred people. Sometimes they'd have a couple thousand based on where it was and what the spot show was for. So I hope that brings everybody up to speed and explains what we're doing here. This is a spot show. This is not our regular tour, okay? So here we are back to the match, and we're going to have Jerry Blackwell, and I clicked on killer. We're going to have Jerry Blackwell get the win here. This one's going to go 18. And of course, Greg Gagne is also there as the road agent. So we're going to go ahead and make Vern Gagne the road agent. If you want to learn more about spot shows and what they are, I suggest you go to Jim Cornette's YouTube page where they post the shorts and look up Jim Cornette spot shows. He goes into like a 40-minute deep explanation of what spot shows were and how they worked. It's excellent. So you'll learn a lot if you don't understand how spot shows worked. So I hope that helps, and I hope that educates everybody who may be new to classic pro wrestling and how things worked. So here we go. We've got Duncum versus Slaughter here in the main event, and we are going to do a total spot show finish here. These two are going to work an epic, and they're also going to work a draw. This is going to go a double DQ. And the thought process behind this is, well, maybe you want to see Duncum and Slaughter again, so maybe you're going to buy a ticket tomorrow night in Chicago and drive from Aurora into Chicago to see Duncum versus Slaughter, even though that's not the case on our tour schedule, but you might want to buy a ticket to see Bobby Duncum or Sergeant Slaughter again. Spot shows were also used as free advertising for the touring company. All right, we got 111 minutes on this spot show. Everything is booked up. We have all 6 of our matches. Let's go ahead and let's start the show and see how we do. Wayne Bloom loses to Johnny Rich here. It only gets a 23 overall, and they're trying to say they didn't click. This one got a little bit better of a score than I had thought. The Russians go ahead and get the win over the Top Guns. Overall score of 58. The Top Guns are improving here. They're no longer scoring in the 20s here in the Great Lakes. This is good. Sherri Martel and Vivian get a real good score here with a 55 overall. Let's see if there's any knocks. Yeah, see, we're doing a spot show. It's not a regular event, so that's why we get the holding back slightly stuff. Kiniski and Oliver. Oliver gets the win with the tombstone pile driver over Kiniski. And yeah, this match is just, it's not a bad show. But not a bad match. It's just so-so. All right, Blackwell and Gagne get the win over the Texas Hangmen. And this one gets a 66 overall. Let's see if there's any penalty. And there is. Of course, there's a lot of holding back going on here, which I do not like that feature in TEW, but I understand why it's in there. All right, our big main event here. It is a big score. Duncum and Slaughter go to a double disqualification. They score an 83 overall. Let's take a look at the dirt sheet. Neither one of them are showing their age yet, which is good. And this is a solid score across the board here. We're going to go ahead and finish the show. We're not going to get any popularity changes because we're running as a special. We're also in week 4. Even if we were getting popularity changes, we've probably maxed our amount for this month. As you can see, we were talking about spot show attendance. This one only had 980 people. Now, I doubt that we lost money based on the talent that we were using. And keep in mind, we have a pretty good merchandise machine right now. So we made money off of merchandise here. Rest assured. We're going to go ahead and finish up here. And we're going to adjust ourselves for our next spot show, which is going to come next week. And we're going to go ahead and get this one whited out. And of course, we're going to prep here for our next tour, which is in Chicago here on Saturday night. Uh-oh, there was a plane crash. Magic Dragon. Oh, WWF's in a television dispute. Dory Funk's been put on loan. Very nice. I don't see anything else of note really here. Jimmy Valiant went to WWC. WWC, of course, is out of Puerto Rico. Let's take a look at our inbox here. Oh, Eddie Guerrero's got a problem with somebody. How did All Star Wrestling do? 768,000 viewers. Very good. Telling you, we just keep improving here. We're getting better every week. And yes, Greg Wojciechowski is going to join us. Very good. For those of you that don't know who Greg Wojciechowski is, Greg Wojciechowski was an outstanding amateur wrestler. He was a Greco-Roman wrestler, I believe. He was a collegiate champion, and he may have been on or an alternate on the 1980 Olympic team that did not go to the Olympics. Greg Wojciechowski was a big, powerful dude, heavyweight wrestler, and he was a pretty bad man. He spent all of his career in the WWA. I think he had a couple stops here and there in the AWA just because of the AWA and WWA were pretty much sister companies. They loaned each other wrestlers. So we're excited to bring Wojciechowski in here. Now, he wrestled in the WWA as the Great Wojo. I think it's a stupid name. We're just going to call him Greg Wojciechowski here. And we are going to plug him in to that feud with Wahoo McDaniel. So he's going to actually wrestle for us here tonight and make his debut. So let's take a look at him and let's check to make sure that he's listed as a heel and good to go. He is. All right, very good. So we are all set here with Wojciechowski to make his debut. There it was. I had it right. Yeah, he was a member of the 80 Olympic team. So, 4-time AAU champion. There it is. And a former NCAA heavyweight champion, 1971. They must have his age wrong here. No, that makes sense. He was 16. No. That was 16 years ago, so that would have made him 20. So, okay. Yeah, they got his age right here. So there's Wojciechowski. If you go on YouTube, you can check out some of his matches with Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner was a little clumsy at the time. Wojciechowski was quite a bit more refined. But this is a good signing for the AWA. And this is realistic because Wojciechowski was exactly the kind of wrestler that Vern Gagne would have liked. So Let's take a look at our finances here, and then we're going to do a champions check-in just for the heck of it. So we have made $2.7 million this month already, and we're getting ready to close up here. We got one more card, so we're actually down $350,000. Well, we got two more shows this month, but we're not going to hit last month. So I think we had some of our better towns last month. I think that's why, just the way the cycle worked out. So our sponsorship is way down. Merchandise is way up. So we may end up making a little bit less money than last month, but that's just the way it goes in TEW. So, all right, let's take a look at our champions. Let's do a champion check-in. So Kurt Hennig's had our title for just about 2 months here. Nelson Royal has had it for just over 6 months. Midnight Rockers have regained the title here. They've had it back for about a month. And Sherri Martel is at about 2 months here since recapturing the World Women's title for herself. Well, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Go to braddrake.net. Drop me a line if you would like the mod. I'll be more than happy to send you a link to the Google Drive page where you can download not only the picture pack, but also the database for the Supermod 7.0. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/1987 Supermod. I'm sorry, correction. Facebook.com/groups/1987 Supermod. And if you haven't done so already, please give us a like, please share this video with your friends, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, everybody, and so long for now.